Hi, friends. Before we dive into this week's episode, I want to share with you about my signature course, She Sells Wholesale. I know so many of you guys ask questions about how do you get started with wholesaling because it can be complicated. I know because I have been there. And when I first started wholesaling my candles with my candle company, Heart Design Co., I failed miserably for several months, but I hit month 3 and I had my candles in over 120 retailers. So I am sharing with you my exact framework inside my signature course. She Sells Wholesale, and you can jump on the wait list at shesellswholesale.com. I only open up the course twice a year. So you want to make sure that you get on the wait list so you know when the course opens up, and it's opening soon. I will actually send you a free gift when you sign up on the wait list. So check it out at shesellswholesale.com. That's shesellswholesale.com. Here's something that might sound a little spicy, but it's always stuck with me. We've always been told as sellers to listen to the customer, do your research, ask questions, give them what they want. And yet we often get stuck. We have great products, but no traction. We might have a lot of engagement, but there's no sales. Here's the unpopular truth. Your customers don't actually know what they want, or they actually think they do, but the real reason that they're buying is buried. It's buried under layers of emotion, identity, and unconscious desire. Today, I am going to walk you through 6 customer lies, and I say the term lies with all of the love, but they are lies because they are costing you sales if you are taking them at face value. And once you see through them, your messaging actually becomes clear and starts converting to sales because now you're not guessing what your customers are actually wanting. You're speaking directly to what actually drives a yes and converts to a sale. Hi, friends. Welcome to She Sells Differently, the show for aspiring women entrepreneurs looking to overcome the fear of selling and grow thriving businesses from a place of authenticity and confidence. I'm Andee Hart, and it wasn't all that long ago that I was a sales executive for a Fortune 500 company. But I knew in my heart that I was called to use my gifts for something more, something different. That's exactly why I created the She Sells Differently podcast. Each episode is going to deliver you business strategies, tools, and mindset shifts to help set you and your brand apart from our culture's expectations. It's time to elevate your sales and build a profitable, sustainable business you're proud of, one built on integrity, grace, and humility. It's time to learn how to sell differently. Hi, my name is Andee Hart, and welcome to the She Sells Differently podcast. If you are new here, I help product sellers stop playing small and start selling with confidence and clarity. And I am so glad that you are here today because I have a brand new episode for you, and you're going to want to break out your pen and paper and take notes today because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to give you 6 customer lies said with all love, but they are costing you sales. And so we are going to reframe them and dig a little bit deeper and understand what customers actually mean when they are giving you a no and the reason for their no and why they are saying they're not buying from you, and help you reframe that so that you can get more sales. So the first lie is, I want more features. They actually don't want more features. The reality is they want ease, they want convenience. And it's such a common trap to believe as product sellers that we should just add more detail, more function, more bells and whistles. But let's be real. What do we all want? We want ease, simplicity, convenience. We want a quick yes. One thing that I have always remembered and has proven true time and time again, simplicity scales. I want you to think of a TV remote with 60 buttons versus one with 5. The second one wins every time. You're going to pick up that second one every time. So if you are a candle maker, we have a lot of candle makers that listen to this podcast because I am a candle maker myself. Instead of flooding your product description with all kinds of features about your product, your candle, what kind of wax, what kind of wick, listen, your consumer really does not care. They want to know, can I gift this? They're choosing your candle. Does it look beautiful to be able to gift this as a housewarming gift for my friend or a birthday gift for my friend? Is it going to look beautiful sitting out on my counter and creating an ambiance for dinner tonight with my family? Is it going to smell lovely in my kitchen? That's what they care about. So instead of flooding your product page with all those features, specs, size charts, endless variations, try this. Lead with a one-liner designed to make your mornings easier. Or maybe it would say, created to make your evenings feel cozy. Emphasize the time they'll save or the simplicity they'll get as a result. But don't be the Cheesecake Factory menu of product descriptions. Here's the second lie that you will often hear from customers. They will say, I bought it for the quality. The reality is they actually bought it because they wanted to feel admired. Customers say they're buying for durability, for longevity, for value. But let's talk about the emotional driver underneath, how it makes them look. Even practical items like water bottles, backpacks, notebooks. It's all a part of how we signal identity. So don't just say this is built to last. Say this is for the woman who knows what she wants. So how you change that in your sales copy is you would not just say this is built to last. You would say this is for the woman or for the man who knows what she wants. Or you could say this is a statement piece that turns heads, even in a grocery run. It signals identity. It sells to the feeling of pride, of status or admiration that your product creates. And when you write sales copy or product descriptions that speak to the subconscious desire of your buyer, it makes them feel seen and understood. The third lie that your customers are often saying is, I just wanted a good deal. No, what they really wanted is they wanted to win. People don't just want low prices. They want to feel smart and strategic and like they scored a win. The professional word for this is called the deal dopamine effect. And this is why sales work in the first place. It's not the discount. It's the feeling that your customer is getting from making the purchase. So stop apologizing for your pricing and start playing into that emotional win that you are creating for your buyer. Here are some ways that you can do that. Create urgency with a 24-hour bundle. Or maybe you can offer VIP tiers that make them feel like insiders and like they are getting something special when they make that purchase. Those are just a few ideas to get you started and how you can help your customer feel like they're scoring big and getting a win when they make a purchase from your brand. You're not selling the lowest price. You're selling the victory and creating the win for your customer. Moving on to number 4. The next lie that your customer is often saying without realizing it, they're saying, I'm making a rational choice. No, your emotions are making the call. So let me be really clear here. Logic does not drive buying. Logic does not drive purchasing behavior. Studies in neuroscience actually show that the emotional part of our brain lights up before the decision-making part. Very interesting, right? The story that your buyer is telling themselves, that actually started with emotion. And that means your facts and features are only there to back up a decision that's already been made emotionally. So what do you do with this? You flip your sales messaging flow. You first speak to their desire. You first speak to their emotional desire, and then you justify it with logic. How do you do that? Start with, you deserve to feel beautiful every day. And then you mention the sustainable fabric or the built-in support. Obviously, this will vary with whatever product you're selling, but you start by speaking to their emotional desire before you ever justify it with logic or fact. This always helps your consumer feel seen and heard by speaking to their underlying subconscious desire. The 5th lie that they're telling themselves without even realizing it is, I just liked it. I saw someone comment this in a Facebook post earlier this week. They said, oh, I just make buying decisions based on if I like it or need it. No, you make buying decisions because it fulfilled a deeper desire. And that comment that they made actually proves my point, is that you are telling yourself that lie without even realizing it. This one always makes me smile because it's the most obvious and the most ignored lie that we tell ourselves. I just liked it really means that this made me feel something. This made me feel an emotion before I ever bought it. And maybe it made that consumer, that buyer feel seen. Maybe it made her feel like she belonged, or maybe it sparked joy, pride, nostalgia, or even confidence. But this is your job as a seller, not to describe the product, but to uncover the emotional resonance that your product sparks in your consumer. So maybe it's a candle scent that sparks nostalgia for your consumer, or maybe it creates joy in the atmosphere that it provides, or joy in the fact that it can create a gift-giving experience for someone. But that is your job as a seller, not to describe the product and the features, but to uncover the emotional experience that it creates for your consumer. So ask yourself, what secret desire does my product fulfill? And then say it aloud in your sales copy. And then our final lie that our consumers are often telling themselves, that is a subconscious lie. They don't realize they're speaking it. They say, it just felt right. Yes, it felt right because it matched your identity story. And this is actually the holy grail of selling, because when a product feels like a natural choice, it's usually because it fits into a personal narrative. that personal narrative could be, I'm a clean mom, so I use non-toxic products. Or I'm a bold, outspoken woman, so I wear bright colors. Or I'm thoughtful, so I give gifts that mean something. Here's the reality. You're not just selling skincare. You're helping your consumer be the kind of woman that she already sees herself as. So let me say that again, and I'm going to say it a little bit broader. You're not just selling a product. You're not just selling a commodity product. You're helping your consumer be the kind of person that they already see themselves as. So you have to tap into their story and then reflect it back and let them see themselves in your brand. And if you do that successfully, they will buy time and time again. And these 6 lies, and like I said, lies is a strong word. I say that with love, but these 6 lies that consumers are subconsciously telling themselves, when you reframe them and understand what the emotional truth is underneath these lies, then you can actually start to speak to the truth of what is really happening in your consumers' minds. And you can speak directly to them and help them feel seen and heard. So if this episode, if it made you want to throw out half of your product descriptions and start fresh, you're not alone. But I want to tell you this, don't panic. This is exactly what I help you with inside the Product Marketing Bank. And you can get AI genies to help you craft your marketing content, your product descriptions for less than the cost of your weekly Starbucks. And it's all built on consumer behavior and buyer psychology. So I will put the link to that in the show notes, and you can grab the Product Marketing Bank and try it for a no-risk 7-day trial. I am always adding new genies to the marketing bank too, and I am so excited about what's to come. You are going to love some of the new tools and resources that are going to be added coming soon. So make sure you check that out. Link in the show notes to the Product Marketing Bank. Okay, that is it for today. I hope this episode gave you the permission and clarity to sell more boldly. Your customers are emotional. They're complex and human. And when you speak to that, you sell differently, my friend. And ultimately, you sell more. So stay tuned. Next Wednesday, I'll bring you a fresh episode of the She Sells Differently podcast. Until then, I am cheering you on. All right, that's a wrap on today's episode of She Sells Differently. Friends, it would be a huge blessing to me if you would take 2 seconds to rate and subscribe to my podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Until then, I'm cheering you on in your entrepreneurial journey. See you next time.